And welcome to another edition of the Uncaged podcast. I'm Dan Hawk, and as always, I'm joined by Executive Director of Athletics, Mr. Dustin Smith. So much going on right now. We're in basketball playoffs. We just wrapped up state swim. We have wrestling as well. Let's start off with swim. How impressed have you been with what we were able to accomplish this year in the pool?
Coach Davis squared, I guess I could call them. Brianna and Malik have done a phenomenal job with our swim program, and the last two regionals and state were both at Jinx and at Aquatic Center, which is phenomenal. It's just an outstanding place to host a swim meet and a swim event, and that is solidified by they have Olympic trials there, and so they know what they're doing over at Jinx, and they run a top-notch swim meet. And our swim team did a phenomenal job, represented BA well, and had some individual placers, obviously, had some school records broken over the state tournament or state swim meet. So really impressed with Coach Davis and Coach Davis have done with our swim program this year. Last year we scored 20 points at state. This year we scored 90. So they have improved dramatically, and I think that'll continue to improve as the years go by.
With the girls and the boys, it's a pretty young team. I did a feature with them a couple weeks ago, and for them it's a grind because of the fact that we don't really have our home venue. They're on the road all the time. Eventually, knock on wood, we're going to get a swim facility here in Broken Arrow, but that is taxing as well. What do you say to her on what they were able to do just in the fact of all the traveling they had to do this year?
And it's just resiliency, and that's what we like to see in athletics as a whole. They just continue to grind and continue to overcome, and there's adversity that comes their way. And in swim meets, yes, you're swimming against other swimmers, but you're trying to swim against yourself and your time, and trying to improve your time, and just to see the way that our team has performed throughout the year. They won a lot, and they were able to win a lot of meets, and I think the best is yet to come. I mean, Chuck Perry says it all the time, but I think that's a genuine statement for our swim team. They continue to grow, and they continue to get better all year, and as they've done that, I think that will be a foundation for us to build upon moving forward.
I want to go back to the points. 90 points scored, 20 in the previous opportunity for us in the pool. Lillian Skinner, an underclassman, 100 back, fourth broke, 58-15 with a 57.93 in prelims. We're talking about a swimmer that's going to be swimming at the next level, and she's already getting it done at such a young level at where her age is. I mean, I don't have enough to say about what she's been able to do.
Yeah, not only did she break that school record in the prelims, but then she broke that record in the state finals, or in the finals of the meet, with a 57.53, which is impressive for her to do the 100 back. I don't know if Dan does stuff, if he's going to get in the pool and do it,
but there's no way I'm going to be able to get where she's at.
Yeah, I think you should compete against her. That's just what I'm going to throw out there. I'm going to challenge Lillian with Dan and just say, okay, let's see who can do the best backstroke. But I don't think it matters for her. She's going to be able to swim no matter what it is. She has. I mean, she was part of the 200-meter relay that set a school record. Yeah, I mean, she has done some phenomenal things, and I'm looking forward to watching her career as a BA Tiger.
I love this team and what she's been able to put together with them in the pool. I mean, on the boys' side, Max Bello, 100 free, 16th, 100 back, 13th as well. I mean, the times are getting better, and Brianna hasn't even been here that long. I mean, is that what you thought when she came here, or is it just the body of work that she's able to put together with this team?
Well, that's what you hope for every coach you hire, obviously. But Brianna has a rich history in BA swim, and she is adamant about trying to make sure that we continue to grow our swim program. And when you're getting beat by Jinx and Bartlesville, I mean, those are
premier
stalwarts in our swim world, and I think they're starting to chip away at that and make sure that people know that BA is for real. And I think with Coach Davis, that future is going to be realized. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Tyler Steffen, outstanding individual state finals for him. Finished fifth in the 500 free, got fourth in the 500 free, and fifth in the 200 free, which is just all out swim. Just go swim as hard as you can, as fast as you can. And Tyler Steffen has represented us really well. We recognized him obviously on senior day or signing day. And Tyler's been a great asset to our program. Looking forward to see what he does, obviously at the next level, but had an outstanding state finals in two events, the 200 free, which is lengthy swim, but a 500 free is a very lengthy swim, and to see him finish 4th and 5th in those events is pretty impressive.
Another swimmer I got to meet, Caden Weingartner, 500 free, 14th. And I know that's possibly not the place that he wanted to finish, but I don't know if you knew this, but when he got into the pool, when he first started, he flat out told me Lillian smoked him all the time in the pool. And now he's been able to pass Lillian, and because Lillian is a torpedo in the pool. But just tell me about the performance of not just him, but how swimmers might have started at one point and where they finish now. It clearly shows that something's going right in the water.
Well, as you see in any sport, and swim's no different, you want to continue to get better as the season progresses. And as a race progresses, you don't base your time strictly off your first 25 meters. In a 500 free, you're going to be swimming for a
long time. Yeah.
And so you've got to obviously pace yourself, and you want to improve upon your time. And to be able to see people like Caden progress as the year went on and are hopefully better at the end of the year than they were at the beginning of the year. And now when Caden comes back, he's got an opportunity to say, okay, this is where I was at the end of last year.
Right.
Let's improve on that. And so we set the bar the first swim and then see what happens as the state finals approaches. And I think we'll see a continued growth under the direction of Coach Davis.
So going back to the points, 90 points. Overall, what did you think of what we were able to accomplish in year one of Brianna Davis?
Well, the girls finished 9th overall at state, excuse me, and the boys finished 10th. Very respectable. And I think any coach will tell you they want to be better than that.
Sure.
And Coach Davis she's not going to shy away from that. She wants us to be better. But I think that foundation, again, we're laying a great foundation, and the expectation is for us to only improve as the years go by. And I think that will happen. I know Coach Davis is going to challenge our swimmers to be better. They'll have a full off season with her. They'll have a full summer. They'll have a full preseason, and then we'll start swimming again in October and November and see what happens and see that work starting to pay off. Obviously, it's a marathon for swim because you start so early and you finish in the middle of February. But I think great things are ahead for our swim program under both Malik and Brianna.
I got to ask you this before we go to break. We're going to be talking about some wrestling. Just kind of give our listeners a little bit of a tease what went on in the field house before we dive into it.
There's a lot that went on. We hosted the 6A East regionals for the boys. The girls wrestled Monday and Tuesday of that week as well. And we had a lot of success, and we'll get to recap that here in a bit.
Yeah, we're going to talk some wrestling inside the field house with Executive Athletic Director Dustin Smith. Stay with us. We got plenty more to get to on this edition of the Uncaged podcast.
Your side hustle keeps you moving. We'll help you get where you really want to go. TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
Tulsa Bone and Joint, Northeast Oklahoma's sports medicine experts. We are pleased to help you and the athletes in your life with a number of surgical and non-surgical options. Tulsa Bone and Joint is proud to serve as team orthopedist for local high schools such as Broken Arrow, Owasso, Sapulpa, Cascia Hall, and Bishop Kelly. We're also proud to be team orthopedist for FC Tulsa. Tulsa Bone and Joint, moving life forward.
For families who like to build their wealth while staying liquid, we have flexible rate CDs to keep your funds working hard, even when you're not. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. The right balance.
At Ascension St. John, you'll find advanced heart care, brain and spine care, and personalized cancer care. And we excel just as much in the things that can't be measured. Listening more closely, caring more compassionately.
Hi, and welcome back to the Uncaged podcast. I'm Dan Hawk alongside my co-host, Mr. Dustin Smith, Executive Director of Athletics. A lot going on in the field house, girls and boys area regionals. And there were so many people that finished on the right side of the mat over the week.
Yeah, our girls wrestled phenomenally. Monday and Tuesday, they wrestled at Glenpool, and this is the first time they've extended it to 2 days for the regionals.
Which is phenomenal in its own right.
It's usually been a 1 day.
Yeah,
you see 1 day, but because of match limits, they can only wrestle a certain amount of matches a day. they could have exceeded that, so they moved it to Monday. We wrestled some on Monday, and then you start with the consos and finals on Tuesday. And our girls were regional champs. They won the 6A East, and what a phenomenal performance by Coach Lyles and the group. 10 qualified for state. We had 3 girls were outright champions, and I just am astonished. Emily Beckley at 120 pounds, she's 38-1 on the year. And she finished first. So looking forward to see what our girls do as they go to state, which is going to be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week, which will be 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of February, and seeing our girls and our boys compete. We'll talk about the boys in a little bit, but got to give the girls a lot of props for being regional champs and qualifying 10 for the state tournament.
I want to go back to Beckley, 38-1 overall. I mean, those are records that are going to be remembered for a long time. But it seems when we've had her on Aerovision, when we've called matches, she's like a different person once she hits that mat.
Yeah, and that's what, I mean, wrestling, you can't hide. And we talked about it on the broadcast a couple times. You can't hide as a wrestler because it's mano-a-mano. It's one-on-one, and you just go out and give your very, very best. And Emily has come out 38 times as the winner in 39 matches. And so I'm sure she wants to avenge that one loss, and she wants to win a state title here this year at 120 pounds. I'm really excited for the future for her and what this state tournament will be for her. But not just her. We got Jordan Todd Hunter and Tiffany Brashears that are that both won regionals as well. So had a lot of second place finishes. And when you qualify 10, you don't have a full team, but you qualify 10 for the state tournament. That gives you a chance to win a state championship as well on the girls' side. So we're really excited for what Coach Lyles and the girls have done.
What's your thought on Addison Farquhar? Second place. I mean, she's just a different person once she hits that mat.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like you take on a different personality. You just go out there and it's a want-to sport. And I want to be better than you, and I want to win, and you got to react some. Obviously, you have a game plan, and you know technique and you know moves, and it's just a matter of hitting those moves when you're supposed to.
Right.
And so Addison's had a phenomenal year, and look forward to seeing what happens for her in the state tournament as well.
When you look at this with 10 wrestlers qualifying, and it's at multiple different weight classes, that's not just focusing on one weight class, getting good at it, and you're being known for that. When you have 10, I mean, that's showing the entire program is getting better.
Yeah, the whole program, it continues to ascend, and you want it to be something that's always on the trajectory of going up. And we don't have a full team. We don't have everybody. We don't have a girl in every weight class. And so for us to qualify 10 of those, it's a pretty impressive feat, and I look forward to seeing how we match up at state.
How much better have they become from when we first started broadcasting, my first year here at Aerovision, to where we are now, you think?
Yeah, again, it goes back to what we talked about with the pool. You progress. As the year goes on, you get better and better and better, and they've had an outstanding dual season as well. They have won. I think they've only lost one duel that I saw, but I think what Coach Lyles has done, and I talked to her after one of our matches, just seeing the way that our girls sprawl and how they continue to push the head down, they're taught that.
Right.
And so then to see that actually go into their mindset, and when they're out there on the mat, to see that actually being implemented, that's tremendous coaching that's been done. That's repetitive, obviously, that they continue to do that. And so to see their success is just, I don't want to say I'm surprised, because I'm not. I just think that they've worked their tails off, and they continue to show improvement. And Coach Lyles expects nothing less. She wants their very best all the time, and I can respect that as an athletic director, to say, hey, my coaches are pushing our kids to be their very best, and not accepting, hey, we're just going to be okay. She wants to be the very best.
Because wrestling's in your blood, and you obviously wrestled yourself back in your day, when you look at the fact that 10 have qualified for state, and to see how popular girls wrestling is, and we have this beautiful facility that's almost finished on the other side of campus here, where do you see the limit for girls wrestling going to be here at Broken Arrow?
I don't think it's just at Broken Arrow. I think it's nationwide. It's a sport that's really catching on and really starting to grow in popularity. It used to be girls had to wrestle boys,
right,
and had to wrestle in whatever weight class they were in, and now we have a girls' state. And, there'll be things where there'll be a girls' dual state, I hope, coming soon. And they will be able to continue to showcase phenomenal athletes and our girls that love the sport, able to showcase their abilities at the highest level. And so I think not just at BA, but nationwide, statewide, that we're going to start seeing continued growth in girls wrestling.
I got to go one more off of that. I know we always talk about the varsity here, but the junior highs, that's where it begins with these wrestlers, and we're going to get to the boys in a minute where they learn their stuff. How much have you seen it grow just in the time that you've been here as an athletic director, Dustin?
Man, it just, again, you see the energy around girls wrestling, and you see the energy and the enthusiasm and the excitement, and when you have girls duel the same time you have a boys duel, I mean, that's showing growth. That's showing that these ladies are worthy of being showcased, and they are, and they have been for a long time. It's just an opportunity now for them to start saying, okay, we're wrestling at the same time as the boys, and we schedule those meets together,
which is even more fun and exciting in a lot of ways too.
And you get crowds there, and you get people to understand, oh man, our girls are really, really, really talented.
Yeah, they don't mess around. Now let's dive in on the boys. Team second, 4 points behind Bixby. Thoughts on them overall?
Yeah, you think about Bixby, even when we went to duels, when we had duels with them head-to-head, got beat by them in dual state in the semifinals, got beat by them here, and it was 13, 14 points between those two duels. And so we were right there neck and neck. And so to see the outcome in the regionals where we finished second behind them, and, you know, it's 1 or 2 matches that go a different way. And I know Bixby could probably say the same thing. Hey, if we'd won 1 or 2, or we'd had gotten points in this one, then we could have extended our lead. But to finish second in the regionals, very, very strong showing. You qualify 13 of your 14 in the state tournament, which is pretty good.
How about Cadence Root, Rudy Rojas, 2 guys that I met at the preseason when we did a season preview. For them to finish where they did, you got to give Coach a lot of props as well with them.
Yeah, and Rudy's not a senior, obviously, and so there's some youth that's going on for our wrestling program, and I need to give a shout out to Coach Jones and what he's done and how he's built that program. Edmond North is who Edmond North is. Absolutely. They are the barometer for everybody this year. They're just so talented. And when you're ranked 3rd in the country, not 3rd in the state, 3rd in the country,
nation, yes.
You've got a really good program. And so what I love about Coach Jones, he's not afraid of them. He's going to go wrestle the big boys and say, okay, let's figure out where we're at, and it gives us an opportunity to be prepared for the state tournament. So when we go there and we see Edmond North walk out there, we're not like, oh, we're automatically beaten.
Right.
We got a chance to compete against these people. Same thing with Bixby. We were able to see them and say, okay, we can compete with these guys. And we came up just short. We're regional runner-up, but that's still an incredible accomplishment. Gunnar Wilson finishes first as well. So you have 3 people that win first in the regional, and you've got to qualify at least 5th to go to state. So that 5th and 6th place match on Saturday matters. Mm-hmm. So if you can win that match, then obviously you're going to state, and that gets you points towards the team total, and you're trying to win a regional and then hopefully a state title based off of not just individually, but as a team.
I know Stinch come 4th at 190, but he's had a very talented career here at Broken Arrow. Thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's been a warrior.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see him out there, and I was joking with my son. He was here this weekend, and I said, you just see those 2 guys wrestling with shoulder braces. A shoulder is needed in wrestling.
Very needed,
I mean, obviously, if it's hampered, he's dealt with some injury, but he's had a phenomenal career as a BA Tiger. And I know that he was a point away from getting into the finals himself in the semis. So he was looking forward to trying to get to the finals. And then the guy he wrestled in the finals got beat by 2 maybe in the finals. So he was just right there on the doorstep, and that gives you hope. That's where it's awesome to have regionals, because it's not the end. It's the end if you don't finish 5th or better, but he's still in the state tournament. He's in the bracket, and he's got a chance to go make a run, and he can finish out his career hopefully on the podium at state.
You know, and that's the best part about this is so many wrestlers are qualified for state just because what they were able to do at regionals. And I think it goes back to the way head coach Jones coaches this. He reminds me of the old school type of coaches that I grew up with, but he has fun with it as well with the boys.
Yeah, and our goal in hosting a regional is that our coaches just coach.
Right.
That's all they worry about.
They don't have to do anything.
They don't have to worry about electrical outlets that are tripped because of people that are on this podcast.
Hey, now, I had nothing to do with that. I just helped eat some of the food.
Yeah, you were just in the room when it happened. But my goal is that they don't have to worry about that stuff. All they have to do is just go coach their kids. And for him to be able to do that, and the enormity of a regional, and all the things that go into that, between having to relocate kids from lunch because they can't go in and eat in the field house, where they have to go, the coordination that goes with security and where to park buses.
There's a lot
There's a lot that happens. And so for that all to take place and to happen like it did, our goal was just to let Coach Jones coach, and he was able to do that, and he did so extremely well.
So I got to wrap it up with wrestling. Expectations for both the girls and the boys now that state's on the door.
Well, I mean, they're there. And so now you want to be able to try to go win the thing. And obviously, wrestling's an individual sport, but it also has a team outcome. And so what you do individually impacts the team. And so you want to go make sure you have a great showing at state. And even with Edmond North, as good as they have been, they haven't won a state title. I mean, Stillwater's won it, Bixby's won it. And so they would, a lot of the naysayers will say it's their time. It's their chance to win when you rank that highly. But again, it's one-on-one, and you got a chance to go. And if our wrestlers can go do their very best, then we got a chance to win the state tournament.
I got to switch gears a little bit. It's almost that time for yours and my one of our favorite sports, which is baseball. I played in college back in the day. Baseball is going to be opening up on March 1st. I don't have the schedule in front of me for softball, but it's around the exact same time. And tennis is practicing, track and field. I mean, we're in the heart of the busiest time of the year with all of our sports. What are you most looking forward to the spring sports stuff?
I just like to see our kids compete and being outside. I mean, obviously, when the weather turns and you got an opportunity to be enjoying the outdoors. Yesterday, I went out and watched us play Claremore. We scrimmaged them in baseball, and just a beautiful day at the ballpark. It was 60 degrees, but that feels like it's tropical compared to what we've had some of these days over the winter. So being able to see them, went and watched slow pitch, have seen tennis. I mean, the facilities are just buzzing with people. Soccer's getting underway. And we still got basketball regionals that are here, and we're hosting those. And so, I mean, sports right now are really kicking in. We got golf that's taking place as well. So there's a lot going on, and there will be a lot going on in spring. It's just a sprint to the finish now. Looking forward to what track can do. Both boys and girls, they were competitive last year, very competitive, and right there in the middle of everything. But soccer, boys and girls soccer, our boys finished second, state runner-up last year. So looking forward to see what our spring sports opportunities have for our kids, but also showcasing our student athletes.
Now, I want to give a shout out to Logan Hawk, because he's staying on top of this with the graphics that we put out on Twitter as well. But I got to ask you, how do you able to maneuver with all the spring sports that are going on right now? Because I know you want to see every team in action.
Well, fortunately for us, soccer, softball, baseball, and tennis are all right close together.
Right. That is a big advantage.
You're able to see and bounce back and forth. Now, you may not be able to see every pitch of every inning, or you may not be able to see every event at a track meet, but you're able to be kind of rove around and be present. Now, golf, obviously, you can't see all 18 holes.
Right.
You can walk with them on some, and you won't be able to see them if they're here. And so soccer at Kirkland, you're able to see those events, obviously. There's a lot going on. It's impossible to be everywhere at the same time. I haven't figured out how to be in two places at one time, let alone everywhere at one time. So it's a matter of just trying to bounce back and forth. But it's great that we have great people that are able to be present and showcase kids. We have coaches there that can help showcase our kids, and Logan's does a phenomenal job. I don't know how he gets to everything that he does, but our coaches do a great job also sending pictures and sending updates so we know what's happening.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely stay on top of it with BA Tiger Athletics. Dustin, I really appreciate you stopping by today to give us the lowdown on wrestling as well as swimming. Good stuff coming out of our Tigers in the pool and on the mat. That does it for this week's edition of the Uncaged podcast. For Dustin Smith, our Executive Director of Athletics, and myself, Dan Hawk, we'll check you next time. Go Tigers.